Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most, frankly, fascinating business rivalries of the modern era. We're going to break down the billion-dollar battle between two beverage giants, Red Bull and Monster. And by the time we're done here, you're going to see exactly how marketing, positioning, and psychology transformed a basic beverage category into an absolute monopoly, all built on the marketing power of identity.
Okay, let's dive into this. $3. Think about that for a second. Imagine paying $3 for a single small can of flavored caffeine. It sounds kind of absurd when you strip it down to just the ingredients, right? But now, picture millions of people doing exactly that every single day all over the world. Walk into literally any convenience store and these two brands completely dominate the shelves. They've got different colors, totally different personalities, and entirely different customers. But here's the kicker. They are both chasing the exact same thing, your total loyalty.
So, what does this all mean? If it's literally just flavored caffeine, what are millions of people actually paying for? Well, the secret is that consumers aren't buying a physical drink at all. No, they are buying an identity. As you'll see, one company is selling you the dream of flying, of becoming extraordinary. And the other? They're selling pure, unfiltered rebellion in a can.
Let's move to the roadmap and see how this builds. First, we'll look at the illusion of energy. Then, Red Bull selling ambition, followed by Monster bottling rebellion. After that, we'll cover the distribution battle and wrap up with the ultimate power of identity.
Part 1. The illusion of energy and redefining the market. So picture this. Back in the 1980s, energy drinks barely even existed. Coffee was what ruled your mornings, and standard soft drinks owned your afternoons. Literally nobody believed people would ever pay a premium price for a tiny, slim can. But one entrepreneur realized that instead of just selling physical refreshment, he could sell mental energy, confidence, adventure. And this brings us right to the secret mechanism behind this entire industry, the marketing power of identity. You see, you aren't just pushing sugar or chemistry here, you're strategically creating a perception that the consumer instantly wants to adopt as their very own.
Chapter 2. Red Bull, selling ambition and the elite tribe.
Red Bull figured out early on that sure, anyone can reverse engineer a flavor profile or a caffeine content, right? But an identity? You can't copy that. So instead of dropping billions on boring, standard television commercials, they funded an elite tribe. We're talking air races, Formula One, extreme mountain biking, snowboarding, cliff diving, and then the ultimate tribe-building moment, a man literally jumping from the edge of space while millions of us watched live. None of this was a standard commercial. It was history. And every single headline carried one name, Red Bull.
Because of those incredible funded moments, the drink suddenly represented courage, adventure, and limitless ambition. As the saying goes, people weren't buying caffeine, they were buying the feeling of becoming extraordinary. Red Bull successfully tied its entire brand to polished achievement. Drink it, and you're part of that elite world.
Chapter 3. Monster, bottling rebellion, and the counterculture tribe.
Now, what's really interesting about this strategy is how Monster captured the massive audience that Red Bull was completely ignoring. While Red Bull was busy aiming for edge-of-space daredevils, Monster saw a wide-open lane. Their counterattack philosophy was just brilliant in its contrast. They launched bigger cans, more caffeine, more flavor, way more value. And instead of polished, pristine elite athletes, they embraced the underground. They went all in on motocross, street racing, tattoo culture, metal music, and gaming. The branding was louder, darker. That massive, aggressive green claw logo became instantly recognizable. Monster didn't tell its customers to be perfect. They told them to be fearless, unfiltered, and totally different.
Look at how perfectly these two messages juxtapose one another. Red Bull tells you to achieve greatness. Monster tells you to break the rules. One brand whispers confidence, precision, and this premium feel. The other brand absolutely shouts power, volume, and rebellion.
This breakdown right here brilliantly illustrates why both companies have grown into absolute giants. Red Bull owns the emotion of premium precision for elite athletes. Monster owns powerful volume for underground gamers and rockers. They might look like direct competitors sitting right next to each other in the fridge, but psychologically, they rarely ever have to fight over the exact same emotional space. Because they don't lead with chemistry or ingredients, they build tribes. Customers heavily identify with the brand, turning the physical product into a literal badge of loyalty. Gamers choose one, athletes choose another. Fans proudly wear the branded hats, the t-shirts, they stick decals on their cars, they buy the backpacks. This psychological advantage creates an emotional moat that a new competitor simply cannot breach just by making a slightly better tasting drink.
Chapter 4. The Distribution Battle and Capturing Demand.
So the crucial point here is that an emotional moat isn't quite enough on its own. Here's the operational reality of business. Marketing and identity create the massive demand, but it is aggressive distribution that actually captures it. Both of these companies knew they had to invest heavily in getting, well, everywhere. If you're thirsty, they are already waiting for you at the gas station, the gym, the university, the supermarket, the music festival. Visibility creates familiarity, familiarity builds trust, and trust drives purchases. It's basically a mathematical guarantee. The easier your product is to find, the absolutely harder it is for a consumer to ignore it.
As competition in the beverage space intensified, distribution and reach became even more valuable. Both giants aggressively went after strategic partnerships to expand into more countries and more refrigerators. Because whoever owns attention often wins the market. In an increasingly crowded and noisy world, attention is today's most valuable currency, and these brands hoard it through their massive global event partnerships and sponsorships.
Chapter 5. The Power of Identity and the Ultimate Business Moat.
Ultimately, this rivalry isn't really about energy drinks at all, is it? It's a masterclass in positioning. Let's pull out the core actionable marketing lessons here. First, sell stories, not ingredients. People remember how you make them feel. Second, own a specific identity. If you try to appeal to absolutely everyone, you're just going to weaken your brand. Pick your tribe and stick to it. Third, community creates long-term loyalty because, let's face it, people genuinely love belonging to something bigger than themselves. And fourth, perception shapes buying decisions. Marketing isn't just promotion, it's perception. Honestly, if you take away just one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this. Businesses often mistakenly believe they are selling products. Actually, scratch that. They almost always think they sell products, but they aren't. They are selling emotions, status, confidence, purpose, and belonging. Red Bull sells ambition. Monster sells rebellion. That little aluminum can, it is simply the delivery system for the identity, and that is exactly why these brands became billion-dollar monopolies, because identity is infinitely more powerful than ingredients.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Which strategy do you truly think is stronger in the long run? Is it building an aspirational, elite lifestyle like Red Bull, or is it embracing that loud, unfiltered counterculture like Monster? Think about how these approaches impact not just beverages, but literally any business or brand you interact with. I'd absolutely love to hear your perspective on this. Thanks so much for joining me to unpack the marketing power of identity. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you in the next explainer.